All right, day 16, and here we are in the old building. Today is kind of like moving day part one. Well, really part two, I guess. So I know I recorded from here recently, but I just want to show you all this because all of this, at least the boxes, are supposed to be moved today. So everything here, all the blue boxes that are left, all of these boxes that sit on the floor, we have a crew of, I think, 6 or 7 people who are coming to help with this today. And somehow, thank you, this was a teacher work day for our children. And so my son, one of my employees' daughters, my college age daughter, they're all here, they're all on their way to make this happen. And so you can kind of see over here, my employee Shannon came yesterday after they worked and started shrink wrapping these boxes and kind of making like little, kind of like a little brick, so to speak. And the thing that we're doing is numbering all of them so that when it gets to the other building, we'll know which ones go in order to go back on the shelves. And so Shannon even has this idea today that when we walk them in the door, they'll go on a table. Someone with a knife will cut the shrink wrap off. Thank you, American Bubble Boy. I'm almost through 36 rolls. This is all we have left. We have gone through 30 rolls of bubble wrap in this move, and I know all of that will be used today to finish the job. So all of these are going to come, and then pretty much everything that's left at that point, this room should basically be empty except for the shelving. I will come back on Saturday, day 17, and I'll take down all the shelving up high. I'll take down all of this shelving and just lean it up against the wall so that the movers can come get it. And I think that will make it go a lot faster on moving day. So at least that's the plan. All right, here we go. All right, day 16 continues. I just left that building right over there, which is my local post office in Indian Trail. And I was talking to them about changing the address and setting up the automatic pickup for the new building. They said that actually I can do that online, and I need to talk to the people. This is an annex, and so the main post office is about a 12-minute drive that direction. I don't know that I'll get over there this week to talk to them about discontinuing the other service and some of the questions I have. But since I was here, I stopped by my sign shop. I've mentioned to you guys All-Star Signs in Indian Trail that has been helping me out. Trevor's going to take care of me and get all my signage done. And so, a lot of this has been about referrals and kind of mentioning other small businesses. So I wanted to give Trevor and his folks here at All-Star Signs a shout out. They've done work for me now for about 6 years and done great stuff. So anyways, my next stop is to get over to the warehouse, the new building, I should say. I'm going to meet the internet guy from PC Paramedic. His name's Anthony. He's bringing another guy over, and they're going to run all the internet wires and get the, what's that thing called? The mesh set up for the Wi-Fi. So that'll be pretty good. And then also I met my employees, my kids all showed up at the building, and they're going to be packing up stuff. So yeah, day 16 is kicking off. The skies are kind of gloomy. It's a little wet. Tomorrow is the beginning of a 2-day, I don't know, I think it does have a formal name, but let's just call it Ice Armageddon. The South, we don't like getting ice and snowstorms down here. We're not ready for that, but that's what's on its way. So we're trying to get as much done as possible on Friday, day 16, and on probably tomorrow, day 17, I'm going to be working by myself, trying to break down shelves and get ready for the movers. But here we go, continues. All right, it's about the middle of the day. Actually, it's much later than that. We've been working all day long, but I wanted to show you this process. My employees have been over at the warehouse. This is the second trip to get all the live listed inventory over, and they filled up the back of a van, the back of a trailer, and this is it. We got all the shelves built. I'll show you that in a minute. And we're now putting all of this in order. So obviously any kind of a SKU system has an order. So you can see what they did was they numbered each of these little bricks that they created with that shrink wrap. And now we're taking them into the warehouse to get them on the shelves. So we'll show you that in just a minute. Day 15 is almost over. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little bleary-eyed. It has been a long day. You've already seen some video of us unloading the trailer. There were 2 trips made today with that trailer full to get all of the live listed inventory over here to the new building. And it is here. Wow. Got a lot of blue boxes here. All of this lined up. We'll head over there for a minute to kind of take a look at the beginnings of our workstations. And then we have all of this inventory as well up on the shelves, ready to go. And that's where the live listed inventory ends. And we still have a lot of shelf space, including this whole run here. That's about 18 feet long. And then this one is an unfinished one. We actually ran out of screws and ran out of shelves. But I have the shelves, as I mentioned before, a lot of lumber at the other building that I'm going to be bringing over. And so tomorrow I'm going to probably go over there and try to bring back enough of the shelving to finish building this over the weekend, depending on what the weather does. Another thing we kind of discovered was that the original design we had for the neckerchief boxes just didn't quite work. What happened was I had these pieces that I got from Lowe's. Remember the whole drama with the shelves, right? So I believe they were 7/16 or 9/16 or whatever the measurement was. But this OSB board is just not strong enough to hold this. But I already have a solution. I just have to make it work. At the other building, when we were taking down the wood, I had... Did you guys hear that sound? It's something to do with the alarm system. I actually set the alarm system, kind of playing with that as well, to what they call arm stay, which is where you have all the exterior doors are like armed. So if anyone, broke in or whatever, the alarm would go off, but none of the internal ones are. So I'm thinking that has something to do with that, because it must be just reminding you that the alarm is on. I don't know. You got to figure these things out. So here's what kind of happened. Got a little sagginess going on, but at the other building, we have a bunch of these, which is a super thick, super heavy duty plywood that's already been cut to 16 inches wide. The only problem is when we built this, it's a little too long. It's a little bumped out at the end for that to fit in perfectly. This is 8 feet long, but it just doesn't fit. At least I think it's 8 feet long. But so what I'm going to have to do is kind of scab together these braces here in order for this to work. So I'm basically going to have to take this apart, what I've already built. Take the neckerchief boxes. We call these neckerchief boxes because they're the larger size boxes, which I know many resellers would recognize, having these brown boxes. But for us, we sell these scouting neckerchiefs, and so we just call them neckerchief boxes. And so we have a bunch of those that are obviously a different size than those blue boxes. And so you can kind of see my little sag I got going on here. That's not too good. But once I get this really good thick plywood on this shelf, it'll be no problem at all. So basically tomorrow I'm going to deconstruct this part, put that new shelving on there. I'll scab up the bracing so that it'll sit right and it'll be fine, and then I'll reload it. And that's the same thing I'm going to have to do over here, because all of this inventory you see on the floor is, again, these larger boxes. And all this needs to get up in the air, but we just ran out of screws, ran out of the shelves and stuff. So anyways, I'll have to go get what I've got and bring it over here. So that can be a tomorrow thing. All right, let's walk around and see the other big thing that happened. I have had good luck with a company here locally named PC Paramedic. They're located in Mint Hill, North Carolina. And when I first leased a building, it was in the town of Mint Hill, which is a sort of a northwestern suburb of Charlotte, although I'm sure they don't want to be called a suburb. But anyways, in Mint Hill, there was a store there. And that's where I originally had my first warehouse that I leased. It was maybe it's like 1,160 square feet or 1,200 square feet, something like that, in Mint Hill. And so not far from there was a computer store. And so I went to those guys. They helped fix me some stuff. I got a couple of laptops from them and, kind of used them as my, fixer-uppers in case I had anything go wrong. So, and when I moved into the new, well, now it's the old warehouse in Indian Trail, I had them come over and run internet. So they hooked up really good, strong internet, ran wires and stuff, and we never had a problem with the internet the whole time I was there. That was their problem. It was always Spectrum if there was a problem, but they did a great job. So I've kept their information and reached out to them. They gave me a price to come out and get us set up. And so that's what they've kind of done today. Now this is not going to look very pretty because we don't have our workstations here yet. We will eventually have 4 workstations with really nice desks with a hutch built in where the shipping supplies can go and the monitor and everything. But they've essentially built all that. They just don't have it on those desks. So each workstation will have a laptop and a monitor and a digital scale. It'll have a thermal printer. And then we also do have some dymos that we can have set up as well. And so this is kind of like you're seeing this, but essentially, this is 2 of them just stuck on here because that's what had to happen. Same thing over here. They've just got it all kind of set up. We got a couple of laser printers here, and that's a book scanner. We use those to take pictures of stuff. And so this is kind of, what they've been working on. They spent a lot of time here. The guy got here about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I swear he just left. It's past 7 o'clock now. So he was here for a long time. But again, he wanted to make sure that everything was right. He's actually going to come back tomorrow just to double check on something. And there was some internet downtime or something going on. So he wasn't able to finish one of them. So he's going to come back tomorrow and fix that up. So anyways, this doesn't look anything like it will look in the future, but we're pretty excited about that. And I am actually working from here. I slid over a chair. I started shipping my Whatnot show. I did a Whatnot show Wednesday night. And so, kind of have like a 2-day deadline to get all that shipped out. So I'm staying here for another hour, maybe 30 minutes if I can get it fast going to finish shipping out this Whatnot show. I've already started, got some of the packages there. So we literally are in business here at the new building on day 16, which is so awesome. I'm pretty excited about it. We made some tweaks to things, and one of them is in my original design, I did not have this. But when my employees got over here and we started looking at the shelves, and you probably saw where all the shelves have casters on them so they can move. My employees said, it'd be very convenient if there was an aisle so that we could just walk through here in order to get where we want to get to the blue boxes. And so we created an aisle. It's about 3 feet wide. Which is plenty of room. We also have little rolling carts we use to load up our orders, and so the rolling carts can all navigate around here. So, yeah, it was really awesome. This is kind of the full build out of this part of the building. I mean, obviously I gotta fix this, but if you can kind of imagine, like, it's split in 2. So what I can show you is, well, I won't go back there, but you can almost see it on the floor. There is the center line of the building. And originally, when this was built, there was a suite A and a suite B. And that's why there's 2 different doors that look very similar in the front of the building. And so what's kind of exciting for me is that so far, we're only using effectively half of the space. And this live listed inventory in my current, well, this is going to take a while to get used to this. In my old building, the live listed inventory was in a space that was about 1,000 square feet. And now this live listed inventory is in a space that's about 1,250 square feet. But we also, in that 1,250 square feet, am I getting that right? Is that the right amount? I think so, yeah, 1,250. We also have our workstations. So that's going to be an awesome, change. And part of that is because my old building was so chopped up and it had, several different rooms and a hallway and all that. So now, again, in your mind, imagine this is not here. All of this, like the other side, is completely available for expanding, really. And so what we will probably do right here, I think I mentioned this before, we're not going to build any shelves where I had marked it off. And that'll give us a line of sight going to the back of the building and just a really easy walkway. So when you come through this door, this is kind of one of the main doors here, your eyesight goes there. So what we'll do is we will, when we bring the lumber from the other warehouse, we will build shelves here. We'll have a 24-foot set of shelves here and a 24-foot set of shelves here. And these will basically, probably in the beginning, I'll make them where they have about maybe 16 or 18 inches in between each shelf, and they can be truly more for like storage and putting up boxes, whether they be things that we haven't processed or new collections we get in or whatever. But basically, to me, this whole area is kind of our opportunity for growth, and that's pretty exciting. So to even, to sort of pan back and look and think that really I've got a whole, what is that? That's 18 feet. That's an 18 feet section there that's totally empty, nothing there. All that will be filled with these neckerchief boxes. So there's a lot of opportunity for growth here. And then this is going to be the room in here where we'll have the best hobby pages. The lighting's all done. I can just turn this on. So there's nothing, of course, in here now. It's all blank, but the painters have left their ladders here. And so this will be the best hobby pages room. And so it'll be really convenient when we need to go ship anything to just come over here, pull the orders, and then take it to one of the workstations and ship it out. So man, day 16, it has been a long day. I had so many people helping. I had all 4 of my employees, both of my children, the daughter of one of my employees, who's a teenage daughter, and all together. Oh, and another guy, Brad, thank you again. Local guy, Brad, a scouter, came and helped and did a bunch of work. And so I had just a whole team of people. Probably, almost 8 people. Is that 8? Maybe more. Gosh, I had a lot of people helping. And so yeah, of course the teenagers didn't work as long as some of us did. Some of us are still here working, but I really, really appreciate all the help that they pitched in and made it all happen. So still a lot to do. It's very messy. I haven't vacuumed or picked up anything, or even, hell, we don't even have trash cans. So I've been kind of wandering around picking up stuff off the ground, but it'll get there. This is kind of the raw move. I called the moving company, and we are scheduled to move. Let's see if this is day 16. We're scheduled to move on what would be day 19 in my video series. And that is a day where it's not supposed to be raining or snowing or icing, but it's going to be very, very cold. And so I'm not sure if there will be some kind of, inclement weather type thing where they're going to be like, maybe we can push it back to the next day. So it might happen the next day, which would be like day 20, but we're ready for them. I'm ready for it to happen. I'm not completely prepared yet for them to come. What I'm going to do tomorrow is try to get ahead of this storm that's coming in. I'm going to go to the old building, and maybe by myself, I'm not sure if I don't think anyone's going to be there to help me, take apart all the shelving that's there. I won't bring it over. I'm just going to take it apart because, as I've kind of told my employees today, it's very expensive by the hour to have the moving company there. And so the last thing I want them to do is to be standing around while 2 guys with a drill start taking screws out of shelves and, that kind of stuff. So I want to have everything off the walls, everything tagged with the right color, so that when they come, all they have to do is just grab it, throw it in the truck, empty it out, and then when they come over here, as you've seen in other videos, everything in the truck will have a color tag on it, and the color tags will tell them which room it goes into. So I'm sure that we will still have to be standing around telling them, oh, it goes there, it goes there, it goes there, but if they could get it in the room, then I think from there we can handle it. So that's kind of the plan. So hopefully that will just take one day. I'm sure it'll just take one day to do the actual move, and those guys will bring in all the stuff. So, but really we have knocked out a lot of it. There's not as much stuff left there as there was when the guy first came over to give me the quote and said, oh, this looks like a 2-day job. But anyways, so day 16, it has been a good day. It's probably been the longest day that I have worked out of all the days. And I kind of knew that was going to happen. In fact, last night, my wife would tell you that I was kind of having a freak out, if you will, because I just knew that with this impending storm and the movers coming on Monday, that we had to get everything that we could out of the warehouse. And I knew I really wasn't and couldn't ask my employees to work on a Saturday when literally, the weatherman's telling us it's going to be like, apocalypse or something, an ice apocalypse, maybe Saturday, especially on Sunday. So I couldn't, they had to take care of their own families, and so I wasn't going to ask them to work on a Sunday. So over the weekend. So I had to, get everyone on board, and my employees were awesome. They really are amazing. I have had one of them has worked for me for now probably about 6 or 7 years. I mean, I'm sort of really losing track. Another lady has worked for me now for about 2 or 3 years. And then her daughter, when she graduated college, while she's figuring out what she's going to do next, she's been working for me. She's amazing. She's really smart and sharp and figures out things that the older people can't figure out. So she helps us a lot. And then I mentioned my 2 kids, and then another one of the ladies had her daughter. So anyways, a lot of help. It's been a good day. So I'm going to finish shipping the Whatnot show, and then eventually I'm going to make it home, where I'm absolutely going to just crash on my bed. I'm so dead tired. I am so tired. But I did mention the thing too I wanted to mention about sort of crashing yesterday. I have, my general personality is be pretty upbeat and pretty happy. And I mean, obviously I'm very happy to be moving to the building, and nothing bad has happened. It's all been good. There's been lots of hurdles, but we've made it through. But I didn't want you all to think that, it's just like a perfect thing, and there's no, there's no ups or downs. My friend Libby, who does her Reseller Reflections, is very, very open in her vlog about her ups and downs and the things that impact her during the week and during the days that, throw her off. And she usually has a little story that she can tell, or, a little bit of pep juice or whatever, to kind of turn it around and make it into something positive. And so definitely when I got home yesterday, knowing what all had to happen today and knowing how far we had to come today, I was, pretty in a bad head place. So anyways, my wife, who's awesome, she helped me through that. And my kids, honestly, I went and told both of them that I really, really needed their help. And even though my son had a teacher work day today, and my daughter is home from college and waiting to go off on her semester abroad, they both agreed to come, and they worked for about 4 hours, which is what I asked them to do. So hey, credit to them, and maybe I'll raise some good kids. I'm not a bad dad. All right, thanks for watching the video series. Don't forget, there's a playlist where you can watch all of the 30 days as I build this series out. And yeah, subscribe, like, do all the things. Jason Spangler, I go by SanteeSwapper on eBay.